Welcome to the Wonderspaced show with Miss Natalie.
You want to discover? There's so much to uncover. Are you an explorer? Yes! Then join us on an adventure. All you need to do is
Look closely, think carefully,
solve many problems.
wait, that's not all.
We are the Wonderspaced explorers. We create things big or small and beautiful. We are WONDERFUL. We are wonderful.
La 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 la.
Wonderspaced.
Oh, hello. I was just trying to plan my moves for an upcoming Oware game. Oware is a traditional board game that requires a lot of concentration. Can you guess what we're going to learn about today? That's right, games. Games in Ghana. What's your favorite indoor or outdoor game? When I was really little, I loved hide and seek, Ludo, and snakes and ladders. Do you know how to play any of those three? You need to know the rules of the game to know how to play any game. But instead of us sitting here and talking about games and rules, I have an idea. There's some Wonderspaced explorers waiting outside for us, and they're waiting to show us how to play 5 different Ghanaian games. 5? Can you guess what those 5 are? We're going to learn how to play Ampe, Pilolo, a hand game known as 24611 Kare Kare, Sansan Kuma, and Oware. Some of our Wonderspaced explorers are learning these games for the very first time. Play along with us. Come on, let's go. Some Wonderspaced explorers are going to help us play some Ghanaian games. Come on, let's go and find them. Are you guys ready to show us how to play some games?
Yeah, we're ready!
In this game, there's a clap pattern that players follow. That's right, 2, 4, 6, 1, 1.
With no mistakes. 2, 4, 6, 1, 1. Carry, carry. With no mistakes.
If one player makes a mistake, they have to leave the circle until there are only 2 players left. Ampe can be played with 2 teams or with just 2 people. Both players jump, clap, and kick 1 foot forward. One player gains a point if a player's left leg meets the opponent's right leg, or vice versa. We call this person or team same or Oyua. It only looks like the same leg because they are facing each other. The other player, who we will call different or Okonto, gains a point when both players kick forward their left legs or both players kick forward their right legs. It only looks different because they're facing each other.
Hello, my name is Jifa, and today we're playing Oware.
Hi, my name is Lorna, and I'm going to tell you the instructions. We'll start with 4 seeds in each hole. So let's begin.
Each player takes a turn by scooping seeds out of a house on their territory. They drop 1 seed in each house in an anti-clockwise direction. A player can capture the seeds in a house on their territory if either player creates 4 seeds. You can only capture seeds from your opponent's territory when 4 seeds are created with your last seed.
going to play a game of Pilolo.
We are going to hide the sticks, so don't look.
All the sticks have been hidden. Ready? Pilolo! Players have to find the hidden stick after the leader shouts, Pilolo! The first person to find the stick runs to the finish line. The game can be repeated several times, but we chose to rank the players in order.
I found my stick first.
I found my stick second.
I found my stick third.
I found my stick fourth.
I found my stick fifth.
I found my stick sixth.
I found my 6-7.
I found my stick eighth. I found my stick ninth. I found my stick 10th.
And they also are winners! For this game, everyone sits in a circle. Each person has a cup or a stone that they pass to the right while singing the folk song, Sansan Kuma. You can decide to go faster and faster and faster. And you can choose to take people out if they don't pass the object correctly. That was so much fun! I hope you had as much fun as we did. What was your favorite game? All 5 games had different rules, but all 5 were lots of fun. Do you think you can teach your friends how to play these games? Wonderspaced explorers, have you ever thought about how these games were invented? Or the history or story behind these games? Did you know that games can teach us important skills or help us to practice some of our old skills? Let's start with Ampe. Ampe is a very popular game in Ghana. Many years ago, Ampe was a sport for women. They had Ampe competitions, sometimes one village against another. I like the sound of that, Ampe tournaments. Did you know that some days these Ampe competitions could go on for 2 to 3 days? That's a really long time. They had large crowds come to watch the Ampe games. And it is said that they had special uniforms just for Ampe. Can you imagine jumping around for 2 to 3 days? That sounds like a lot of exercise. Intense exercise. Actually, that's one benefit of Ampe. Exercising. If you play Ampe, you are exercising because you're jumping around. What else can we learn from playing Ampe? Yes, you can learn to calculate what your opponent is going to do or anticipate what the other person is going to do. Are they going to kick their right leg or their left leg? Anticipation and learning to calculate are important skills. The second game that has an interesting story and meaning is Sansan Kuma. Can you help me sing the first line? Sansan Kuma ninewa chichikokumba. Well done! Sansan Kuma is a folk song and it means roaming hawk. And the story goes like this. One day, Sansan Kuma, the hawk, was flying high in the sky when she spotted some baby chicks. She circled around the baby chicks for some time and realized they didn't have a mom or dad. Sansan Kuma flew lower and snatched up the baby chicks, and she took them to her nest. Don't worry. Sansan Kuma raised the chicks as her own. I'm sure you were a little bit scared as I was telling the story, but the story actually has a comforting message. Children in Ghana were taught this song to remind them that even if they don't have their parents or if they don't have someone to look after them, somebody in the village will definitely be there to take care of them and that they are never alone. So the song and the game is actually very comforting. I'm going to tell you about one more game. That's right, Oware. Oware is one of the oldest board games in the world. There are similar versions with similar rules in countries like Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and more. According to the story, a man and a woman were playing a game, a pit and ball game, like Oware, and they were having so much fun that they didn't want to stop, and they didn't want to end before they declared a winner. So they decided to keep playing. And in order to keep playing, they made a decision. They decided to get married. They decided to get married so that they could play every single day. Ware means marriage or to be married in Chi. And so that's how they came up with Oware. That's a bit of a funny story, isn't it? The second story is about a king from the 1700s. His name was Katachie Opoku Ware. According to the story, he would invite husbands and wives who were arguing into his palace. And he would say, come on, play a game of Oware. And then after the game, the husband and wife will be talking. So he used the Oware game to solve problems or to solve problems between couples. That's another interesting story. So the king decided to use a game, Oware, to solve problems. Can we solve problems or learn to solve problems by learning the game of Oware? What are some of the skills we can learn by playing Oware? Can you help me? That's right, counting and even multiplication. How many pits do we have? We have 6 on this side and 6 on this row. So in total we have, that's right, 12. And each hole has 4 seeds. We need to use our multiplication. 12 times 4 is, you guys are brilliant, 48. So just by starting a game, you're learning to count and you're learning some multiplication. What else can we learn? You can learn to spot number patterns. When I hold it up, you immediately can tell that there are 4 in each hole. What if I move some around? Can you spot the holes that have only 3 seeds in them? You're able to spot the number of objects without counting. This is known as subitizing. You can spot the number of objects in a hole without counting. This is going to be important at school as well. That's a great skill to have, to be able to spot a small group of items and immediately be able to say, that's 3 items, that's 4, that's 1, that's 2, without counting, because you know the patterns so well. When we're talking about the rules of the game, we talked about moving in an anti-clockwise direction. That's an opportunity to learn about terms like clockwise and anti-clockwise. What direction does a clock move in usually? That's right. So here, it's moving in a clockwise direction. But with Oware, we play in an anti-clockwise direction. So that would be this way. And so that's why we go instead of clockwise and anti-clockwise. Wonderspaced Explorers, you've played along with us. You've learned the rules of 5 different Ghanaian games. You've discovered interesting stories behind some of these games. And you've seen how games can help us build new skills or practice our old skills. Well done. I'm so impressed. But I'm sure as we've been playing, you are thinking, but Miss Natalie, I don't have an Oware set at home. Well, I have an idea. You can make one. How? Do you have an egg crate at home? Do you have seeds, beans, or stones? well, then you can make your own Oware game. All right, so make sure you have 6 sections in your egg crate as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our second row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I think we're good to go. Now, the egg crate is much larger and I don't need the rest. We just need 2 rows of 6. So I'm going to cut this side off. All right, so do you remember how many seeds go in each pit or in each hole? That's right, 4. And there are 12 pits. So how many seeds do we need in total? Yep, 48. So you can put 4 in here, 4 in there. Remember, you can use pebbles, stones, marbles. You can use something a little larger than what I'm using. So I'm putting 4 each. All right, 3. And you have some stones, pebbles, marbles. You can use something different from beans. All right, so instantly you have your own Oware game at home. But, okay, let's see, let's move them around. You can also come up with your own game. Can you draw or write down some rules for a game that you come up with? I can't wait to hear what ideas you come up with. And maybe one day, I can play the game that you invent. What are some of the things you might need? Paper? Stones? Sticks? What else? I have an idea. I can teach you how to make some dice so that you can use it for your game. Maybe for some rules in your game, you might need some dice. Are you ready to learn how to do that? Let's go. Okay, so to create your very own die or dice, you can print out the template for a cube and cut it out. So when you cut it out, you have a shape like this. You can draw the lines. These will be your fold lines. All right, these will be the fold lines to help you fold so that you can begin to fold it into a cube. How many faces does a cube have? 6. You're going to need glue to stick it together. You have your cube. We have our cube. So now you can make sure it's glued together nicely. I can press them down on each side. When it's all glued together, you can cut out black circles, all right, on one side. You can put 1 dot, yes. On the other side, how many should we put down? Yep, 2 dots. All right, so we have our one side, our face with 1 dot, our face with 2 dots. Let's have our face with 3 dots. And then a face with 4 dots. All right, and you can keep going. You have a side with 5 and a side with 6. Wonderspaced Explorers, I can't wait to hear or read about some of the games that you come up with. You've learned so much today. I hope you teach a new friend how to play Ampe, Pilolo, Sansan Kuma, Oware, or 24611. Kare. Thank you for joining us today. As I say at the end of all our lessons, Wonderspaced Explorers are wonderful. You are wonderful. Join us next time. Bye.